What's your fake scenario that will never happen but I like to imagine it anyway so that I can fall asleep? Quitting my job with no notice. I did that once. It was every bit as great as you imagine it. I had some money saved up and had a small side business I was working on. My regular job totally sucked and was going downhill fast. I was due to work a 4 p.m.-12 shift. I was out golfing and after the first 9 I would have to leave to get ready for work. I started to pack up to leave but noticed it was a beautiful sunny day, not too hot. I was out having fun with my friends and realized you only get so many of these days in your life. So I picked up my phone, quit my job, lit up a joint and played 27 more holes of golf instead of going to work. This was in May and I decided to just not work that summer. I had burned through my savings by September, but it was worth it. This was 17 years ago and honestly it was probably the best summer of my life. I regret nothing. I have fantasies of doing this and am slowly planning to head that direction, though everything's in the idea phase as far as the side business. Got any tips or insights for a successful transition? Edit. That is for the side business thing. I don't dream of quitting without notice, especially because the job I have now would affect my reputation in other areas. Save as much money as you can ahead of time. Live simply in the run up to it. Part of the reason I just up and quit is I had just finished college while working a full-time job and running my side business. I was definitely burned out. The plus side of that is I had enough money stashed away to not only survive for 4 months, but also do some fun stuff too. Try to minimize your bills. I drove a cheap car that I had paid cash for, so no car payment. I paid 3 months of my rent in advance the day after I quit. Since I had so much free time I did all my cooking at home and hardly ever ate out unless I was doing something fun. Also have a plan for transitioning back. I was a chef at the time so I could basically just pick up a new job anywhere. My business was never something I planned on living off of, I just used it to keep a little extra money coming in. If you are trying to start a business you are going to live off of, that takes a little more planning, but the steps are the same. Just have as much cash as you can stashed away in advance. You don't want to be in a position where an unexpected $700 expense turns your dream into a nightmare. If you are having trouble saving, first look hard at ways you can tighten up your budget. Second, see if you can get a temporary second part-time job doing something like waiting tables, delivering pizza, or serving coffee. Do that maybe 10 to 20 hours a week and bank all that money. It all adds up faster than you think. I was able to save over $5,000 in 6 months and this was while paying all my usual bills. What I would do on a deserted island, like my survival plan. That's my retirement plan. How hard would it be to find a way onto a deserted island that isn't inhabited by many people or ones that wouldn't bother you? I'm assuming the cost of flights/boat rides to these locales might be outrageous, but your idea of a retirement plan really piqued my interest. Sincerely, 38-year-old with zero savings and no retirement plan. Well, the Gilligan's Island idea of an uncharted desert island is no longer possible, thanks to Google Earth and GPS. But that doesn't mean all islands are populated. Denmark has like 1,000 islands or more, according to my Danish ex-girlfriend, but do you want to be on an island by yourself during the winter near Denmark? Same is true for Alaska, a ton of islands, but very harsh winters. Nowadays, for a castaway or Gilligan's Island style retirement, you'd have to do your research into finding an island in a good location, with plenty of resources, that no one has laid claim to. I mean, it would suck to shipwreck on a deserted island, build a survival camp, then upgrade to a nice house on the island, go from survival to living, only to bump into J.K. Rowling and have her kick you off her island and then sue you for the damages to her property, trespassing, and the flight home. In middle school I would imagine that a portal would tear through my classroom and a group of uniformed mythological people would come out and would urgently request me by name and tell me that they really needed me, and then they would whisk me away to some other world where I was their only hope in some ancient war. Just so that everyone around me could wonder why I was so important. Over a decade later I'm writing a webcomic about it. Got about 100 pages out. I'm deleting it now so I can redo it since now I'm a proper adult and not a broody 15-year-old. Edit, you guys are so funny. Thank you so much and it's so cool so many of us relate. For those of you asking what my webcomic is, I'll let you know a little bit about it. It started off how I described it above, but it's completely changed since then. I'll comment on this comment. I'm surprised a couple thousand of you read this comment but never googled my username lol, and no, it's not Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Don't get rid of it, always save a copy to see how much of a dumbass you were. Ha ha ha, I laughed so hard at this. I just showed everyone who knows how much I'm struggling with this comic and we're all like floored. We always joke about how much of a dumbass I am since all I do is complain about my comic and not write or draw it. Thanks for the laugh. I'm framing this. I'm keeping a copy of my comic for sure, but it's very problematic so I do have to remove it from the public eye. But it's staying with me. Dope, I have a box that has some artwork and stuff, just look back at it, they are terrible but still cool to remember.